Welcome to Altair Engineering Training and Support. In this video, I'm going to cover the analysis done for the SAE Supra roll gauge structures. So, for this, in this video, I'm going to cover following different types of analysis which are being performed in the roll gauge structures for used in SAE Supra. So the process, the generalized process for any static or modal analysis is MPCLL to perform any modal or static analysis using radios, where M stands for material collector, P stands for property collector, C stands for component collector, L stands for load collector, and second L stands for load step. So in material collector, we define the material properties as E, nu, and rho. Then we define the properties, that is the physical properties of the component. That is, if it's a 1D, so we define the cross section. If it's a 2D, we define the thickness. If we are going to define the 3D, so we have to input the values for the solid element. Then in component, we define the property and material. So the property material set we define in components. As in assemblies, there are different components having different material or property. So we club them accordingly and define in the component collector, as we did in the earlier video. Then we define the load collectors, where we define forces and constraints which have been applied on the model. Lastly, we define the load step. Load step stands for the type of analysis which we are going to perform. Say for example, if you want to perform linear static analysis, you have to define the load step for linear static. If you want to perform normal modal analysis, you have to define the load step for normal modal analysis. So the same process we will follow to perform the different analysis using radios and hypermesh. So in this video, I'm going to cover these many analysis, like front impact analysis on the roll cage structure, side impact analysis on the roll cage structure, supra roll cage structure, then rollover analysis, torsional analysis, bump analysis, and modal analysis. These 6 analyses I will perform in the same single file, and then we'll see the results of these 6 different analyses using Hyperview. So the following things will be discussed in this video, that we will use the same model as we have created by the process by using the earlier video, that is roll cage 1D geometry editing. That video, through which the model which I have generated in that video, will use the same video for the analysis. So as I had discussed earlier, that we are going to perform MPCLL, that is, we are going to define material, property, component, load collector, and load step. So in the earlier video, I already defined material, properties, and components. So now in this video, I am going to show you how to create or how to apply the loads and forces for front impact analysis, how to create constraints for front impact analysis, how to create the load step for the front impact analysis. Then we will see how to create the loads and forces for side impact analysis, constraints for side impact analysis. Then again we will define the different load step for side impact analysis. Then we will define, I'll show you how to create the loads and forces for rollover analysis, creating constraint for rollover analysis, then creating load step for the rollover analysis. Now, then after I will see how to create loads and forces for torsional analysis, constraints for torsional analysis, and load step for torsional analysis. Then we see how to create the forces for bump analysis, constraint for bump analysis, and load step for bump analysis. Lastly, we will see how to create the forces for normal modal analysis or frequency analysis, constraint for normal modal or frequency analysis, and load step for normal modal and frequency analysis. So these are some processes we will see. Then I'll show you how to use radios to solve your model, and then we see the results of front, side, rollover, torsional, bump analysis, and normal modal analysis using Hyperview. So open the Hypermesh GUI, then click on the open folder to open the model. Here you can see I will use the same model which we have created using the earlier video. which I have used in the earlier video. So you can see here I have defined the beam section that that time we have defined two beam sections, that is the cross and square section. If I make it in a 3D representation, you can see these are the square sections and the top one are the circular cross sections. Then we define the components, that is the roll gauge line data. This covers the lines data. Then circular for circular roll gauge structures, and different component for square section. Then we define the load collector for as EIGRL for the free run to check the connectivity. Load step for the free run. We already have defined the material as steel. We define two properties at circular and square. So to perform the different analysis, we will select, we'll first delete these earlier load collectors, that is, and load step. So now my model is ready to apply the new load steps or new load collectors on this model and see the results. So one by one I will start with, first I will start with the front impact analysis. That first I will create a front impact force. So to create forces for front impact analysis, click on load collector icon. Enter the load collector name as front impact force. Define a color and click on create. Once you click on create, you will see a load collector as front impact force has been defined. Now I will apply the force on this model. So to apply the force on this model, go to analysis page. On analysis page, you will find force panel. This is the force panel on analysis page. Select the radio button as create. Pick the nodes on which you want to apply the forces, that like this node and these two nodes on which I am going to apply the forces. Then select the global system, so it will take the global coordinate system. Enter the magnitude of the force which you want to apply. So as I want to apply a 3G load on this model, so if I consider the weight of the vehicle, I will show you the calculations for 3G, how to apply the 3G loads or how to calculate the loading. I will also show you that. So if I want to see, or if I want to apply a 3G load, so 3G, if we consider my weight of the vehicle to be somewhere around 300 kg, then G will be 300 multiplied by 10, approximately it is 3000 Newton, and 3G will come as 3 multiplied by 3000, that comes as 9000 Newton. As I am applying on two nodes, so on each node the force will be 9000 divided by 2, that means 4500 Newton force I am going to apply on each node. So I will select the magnitude as 4500. The direction of magnitude will be x-axis because I am going to apply the frontal impact loading, and then click on create. Once you click on create, you will see an arrow representing the force has been displayed. From this magnitude percent, you can decrease the arrow representation, so this arrow becomes smaller. If you click on this icon, it will show you the value of the force you have applied. If you click this, it will get off. So this icon is used to show the load collectors values. So these are the display load handles. Now the next is to apply the constraints for the front impact analysis, the second. So I am going to constrain this model on the suspension pickup points. So first I have to create a load collector for a constraint. So I will again go to this load collector icon. This time I will enter the load collector as load collector name as front impact SPC. SPC stands for single point constraint. Define a color for it. So on by seeing the color itself, I can just identify where is the loads and where is the constraint. Then click on create. Always cross check it whether on the model browser your load collector has been created or not. So now as you can see here, my front impact SPC has been created. So I will click return. Now I will apply the constraint on this model. So I will go to analysis, constraint. For the front impact, I am going to constrain the frontal suspension for only the Y direction so that it will not move somewhere, something like this. So I am restricting the translation along this axis, that is the Y axis, it should not move up. And for the rear end, I am going to constrain for all the 3 translational degrees of freedom. So I will pick these nodes. So I will pick all the suspension. The suspension pickup points may vary from structure to structure. So you have to decide where are your suspension pickup points. According to that, you have to apply the constraints. According to that, you have to pick the nodes for the constraint. So I have picked all the 8 suspension pickup front, 8 suspension pickup points, 4 at the right, 4 at the left. Check the box for DOF 2 so that only degree of freedom 2 will be constrained. So degree of freedom 1, I will explain what is DOF 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stands for. DOF 1 stands for translation along x-axis. DOF 2 stands for translation along y-axis. DOF 3 stands for translation along z-axis. DOF 4 stands for rotation about y-axis. DOF 5 stands for rotation about y-axis. And DOF 6 stands for rotation about z-axis. So first 3 are translational degrees of freedom, and last 3 are rotational degrees of freedom along x, y, z and x, y, z axis. So whatever the degree of freedom you want to constrain, you just ticked it. If it's unticked, it is free. If it's ticked, it is restricted. So click create. The size, as you can see, is very small, so we can increase the size. Now it is easily, you can view those. So constraints are represented by triangles. Then at the rear end, I am going to constrain for all the 3 degrees of freedom. And say create. So the rear end has been constrained for all the 3 degrees of freedom, as you can see. So in this way, I have applied the loads and boundary condition. Now the next step is to apply, create the load step. So my analysis has been done. So to create a load step, go to analysis. On analysis, click on load step. Enter the name of the load step as front impact analysis. Select the type as linear static. Check the box in front of SPC and load. Click here to enter the front impact SPC, select front impact SPC, and click here to select front impact force and click create. So now you can see my first thing has been done, that is the load step has been defined. Now I will define the loads and forces for side impact analysis. So I will click return to exit the load step panel. So now I will show you how to create all the load collectors at one, and then how to apply all the load collector at one time. So we'll create one by one all the load collectors. So this is front impact. So I will now create side impact force, give him a color, say create. Then we will create torsional force, create. Bump force, create. Roll over and say create. Now for the modal analysis we don't define the forces, we define the frequency range. So normal modal will name it as EIGRL, that is we define the frequency range, and we input the card image as EIGRL and click on create edit. So we define the frequency range from 1 to the engine frequency. I am assuming as the engine frequency to be somewhere 100, and the number of modes. I want to see what are the frequency different modes of the excitation. So 10 modes I am interested in. So first, actually practically speaking, first 2 modes are more important, then the importance becomes lesser and lesser because the damping thing happens. So first 10 modes is fair enough. So I will say return. Now my front impact force, my side impact force, torsional force, bump force, rollover and normal model has been done. Now I will create constraints accordingly. So as front impact SPC has been done, so I will start with side impact SPC. So I will give it a color as blue, no card image, and say create. Then we will define torsional and say create. Then we define bump, create. Then we define rollover and create. Lastly, we will define normal model SPC and say create. Now one by one I will apply them all on this model. So I will off this front impact and side impact, so my model I can easily see with the loads and boundary conditions on my model. So go to analysis, forces, select side impact force, right click on the side impact force and make it as the current, so the forces will move towards that. So on the side impact, I am going to apply the forces on the side members. So I'm going to apply the forces on these 3 locations. The locations may also change as per the structure. So if your structure, you have to see where the impact will be happening. Where are the contact points during the impact? On that point you have to apply the force. You can apply the UDL also. You can pick all the nodes and divide them accordingly also. That is also possible. So as there are 3, so the calculation will be same. So this time 9,000. I am assuming 3G loads everywhere. So 9,000 divided by 3. So on each node there is 3,000 Newton of force I am going to apply. So this time the direction is z-axis, so I will pick it as z-axis, but the direction is in negative z-axis, so I will enter the magnitude as minus 3,000 and say create. So in this way you can see my side impact constraint forces has been applied. So I will off this again. Now I will apply the torsional forces. So torsional forces will be for the frontal torsional. So 3G forces on the right hand side and 3G forces on the left hand side, but in opposite direction to the right hand side I am going to apply. So I will pick these 4 nodes. As I am picking the 4 nodes, so again if I go to 9,000 divided by 4, so it's 2250. So 2250 in y-axis, because the axis is y. But make sure you highlight the torsional force as the current and say create. So this is the force. Then in the opposite end we will apply the negative force to see the torsional, the front torsional. In the similar way you can apply for the rear torsional. Just you have to put minus and say create. So in this way it is done. Now I will off this, and on the bump, for the bump again I am going to apply the forces on 8 suspension pickup points in positive y-axis in upward direction. So if we calculate 9,000 divided by 8, so it is coming as 1125. So I will enter the value as 1125 and say create. So my bump has been done. Now the next is rollover. So for the rollover I am going to apply the angular forces. somewhere like this at the front end and at the top end. So at the front and at the top I am going to apply the forces in 45 degree. If I say, if this is my axis, that is X and Y, so on angular forces I am going to apply here. So to define the angular forces or to apply the angular forces, there are two ways. Either you can define the vectors or just create a system, rotate that system and apply the forces. So to create the system and apply the forces is the simplest way to do. So I will show you that first. So how to create the system. So go to create a system, go to 1D page. On 1D page, click on systems. Select arbitrary any node as the origin. Select that node as origin. X-axis as the global x-axis and XY plane, and say create. So this is the local coordinate system. The size is very small, so I will increase the size so you can easily see that this is my global coordinate system. Sorry, this is my local coordinate system. So I will revolve this to 45 degree. So to rotate this local coordinate system to 45 degree, go to tools page and click on rotate. From the drop box, select systems. By default it comes as nodes, so you have to click on the drop box and select SYSTS, that is systems. Select the axis perpendicular to the plane of rotation, that is I want to rotate in an YX plane, so I will select the perpendicular axis, that is Z axis. Select the base point as the center point on which I have created the system. Select the angle on which you want to rotate. So in this way you can see I have rotated it to 45 degree. So my x-axis is coming in the 45 degree angle. Now I will apply the forces. So make sure this rollover is current. Click on make current. Again go to analysis, forces. I am going to again pick these nodes or the center one, whatever you want to pick. So I am going to apply the forces on this. So this is 9,000 divided by 4, somewhere it comes around 2250. I'll again show you the calculation. So 9,000 divided by 4, it is come as 2250. So 2250 I will enter. But this time I will change this to a local coordinate system and pick the system on which I want to apply. And the direction of force will be positive x-axis. So I will, from the drop box, I will select x-axis and say create. So now you can see I have created an angular forces. So instead of rotating the model and creating blah 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 stuff, you can apply the forces in angular direction directly. That is more simpler. Once the system thing is done, so I will off this. Again I will off the rollover forces. So I will just quickly check whether I have applied all the forces correctly or not. Then I will apply the constraint. So front impact correct, then side impact is correct, torsional it's correct, bump analysis correct, and rollover is correct. Now the next step is to apply the side impact SPC. So I will on side impact force. So for the side impact I am going to constrain the lower suspension pickup points for all the 3 degrees of freedom, that is all the 8 lower suspension pickup points, 4 at the front, 4 at the rear end, because they are going to provide the reaction forces first. So I will make this as side impact SPC make current. Go to analysis, constraints, pick the points. Select degree of freedom 1, 2, 3 and click on create. So my constraint has been defined. So I will off this, off this. Then for the torsional, I will make the torsional SPC as the current. Always make sure you make this as the current. So for torsional I am going to constrain rear portion for all the 3 degrees of freedom. for the front torsional. Similarly, for the rear torsional, you have to constrain frontal side for all the 3 degrees of freedom. Say create. Then of this also, of this. Then for bump, I will make the bump SPC as the current. Bump also, the constraint location will be same. The rear portion is going to fix. So bump is done. Then of the force of bump, constraint of bump, make the rollover as the current on the rollover. So for rollover, I'm going to again constrain only the lower suspension pickup points, front for the y-axis because they are going to provide the reaction force, and rear end again for the all the 3 degrees of freedom. So I will off this checkbox. And the lower suspension pickup point, say create, and at the rear end all the 3, say create. Then I will off these 2 and say normal model, make current. For normal model, I am going to apply the constraint for all the 3 suspension, all suspension pickup points for 3 degrees of freedom, all the 16 suspension pickup points. And say create. So in this way, I will again just cross check it. Front impact SPC is done. Side impact force, side impact SPC, perfect. Then torsional force, torsional SPC is also perfect. Bump force, bump SPC, perfect. Rollover force, rollover SPC is perfect. Then normal model and normal model SPC is perfect. So I have created a load step for front impact. Similarly, I will create the load step for all these, that is side impact, torsional, bump, rollover and normal model. So to create the load step, I will go to analysis, load step. I will name it as side impact. Select the type as linear static, SPC as side impact, load as side impact force, say create. Then the next is torsional analysis. The type is same as linear static, SPC as torsional, SPC, force is torsional force, say create. Then the next is bump. So keep the type as linear static, SPC as bump SPC, load as bump force, create. Then rollover analysis, linear type as linear static, SPC as rollover SPC, load as rollover force, and say create. Then the next is normal model. For normal model, select the type as normal modes. Check the box in front of SPC, check the box in front of method structure to define the frequency range. SPC will be normal mode SPC and method structure will be normal modes EIGRL, and say create. So in this way you can see I have defined the 6 load step, that is front impact, side impact, torsional analysis, bump analysis, rollover analysis and normal model analysis. So now I will save this file in a one folder and go to Radios to solve this model. So I will go to file, save as. I will save this file as 1D analysis. Save this file. Then to solve this model using radios, go to analysis, radios. Keep all the parameters as it is, like export option to all, run option to analysis, memory option to default, and click on radios. Once you click on radios, it will automatically start the solver window. This is the solver window in which it will start solving this. Once your message comes like analysis completed, that means your analysis is done. So click on results to view the results in Hyperview. Close this message log, that is one of the licenses features will expire in 10 days. So close this. Now this is the model in which I have performed different analysis. Now we will see the results of displacement and stress on this model. So to view the results of displacement and stress, click on this contour plot. So select the result type as displacement and say apply. So this is the value of displacement, that is 1.3 mm for front impact. You can change it from here. This is the value for front impact. So if you click on this drop box, this is the value for side impact, that is 12 mm. For the torsional it is 18 mm. For bump it is coming as 37 mm. For rollover it is coming as 5.8 mm. For normal models the result type is Eigen modes. So the maximum Eigen mode is coming as 46, or these are the different Eigen modes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for the stresses, select the result type as elemental stresses 1D, and C bar, C beam, axial stresses, averaging method to simple, and say apply. So these are the stresses for front impact analysis, that is 32 Newton per mm square. If you click on this measure icon to see where is the maximum load or minimum force is coming, so click on this. Check the box for static mean max of minimum. So you can see the maximum value is coming as 32.77 on this node. Then for side impact it is coming as 33 Newton. For torsional it is coming as 151.47 Newton per mm square. For bump analysis it is coming as 169. For rollover it is coming as 28. For normal model the value is different, that is the Eigen mode, the frequency, highest maximum frequency on that particular zone. So in this way you can see the values of stresses and displacement. You can also see the animation plot. So select set linear animation mode, click on play, decrease the time. As the displacement value, if you go to displacement, is very less, it's somewhere around 1.35 mm, that's why it is not showing the deformation. So you can magnify the deformation from this icon. If you can just magnify the deformation from the deformed, change the value to say 20, from deformed shape to say wireframe, or you can just change the value to 30. So you can see here, if I pause it and go to the maximum one, so earlier the roll cage is somewhere here, and after deformation, if we enlarge the deformation will be something like that. So this is the enlarged deformation, not the actual one. Actually it is 1.35, but to view the deformation, how the body is going to deform, that I am showing. For the side impact, you can see I can change the value to 10. So the side impact, from the side you can see, this is the actual. If I play on, so you can see this is the side impact. Then torsional analysis. So this portion is going up, this is going down. For the bump analysis, it is something like this, as you can see. For rollover analysis, it is somewhat like this. For normal model, I will change it to normal modes. Again, go to contour and say apply. So this is my first mode. This is the second. I can change the deformation to 1. This is the third mode of excitation, and this is the fourth mode. So these are the 4 modes of modal excitation where the maximum frequency can be observed on the model after these suspension pickup points. So in this way, you can perform all the 6 different analysis in one single file. So it is very simple to perform all the 6 different analysis using one simple file. So in the next coming video, you can see how to take the images and incorporate the images along with that. If you find any difficulties or any issues, any queries related to any technical issues, feel free to contact us at edu-support@india.altair.com. You can send us the queries on this mail ID. We are more than happy to solve your queries. So in this way, I have ended this training video. Thank you very much.